Hi. This is the Tiny Movie. Today I explain a fantasy thriller movie, Blood Red Sky. Spoiler ahead. A team of special forces is positioned at an airbase in Scotland to intervene by landing an airplane to rescue its passengers. While all snipers target the airplane, a boy jumps down from one of the rear doors of the plane. The soldiers catch him and quickly take him inside. The commander of the police forces threatens the man in the cockpit that will shoot him if he makes any move. The man asks to be allowed off the plane to explain the situation inside the plane, but his efforts are useless. The commander-in-chief takes the boy into a room to know what happened on the plane. Asking this question, the story goes to the past. A woman who appears to suffer from leukemia, putting on a wig, makes the last arrangements with the doctor and the nurse in the operating room for the last time to be sure everything is ready for her treatment process to restore her health after landing in New York. A lonely boy is delivering his luggage for the check. The man in the cockpit helps the boy lift and deliver the luggage. The boy delivers them, and all is ready. The boy, Elias, calls his mother and informs her that things get done. Nadia is so happy and goes to the airport. Elias and his mother find each other at the airport, and after a while, Nadia goes to the bathroom to inject one of her medicines. Her medication is extremely painful and makes him lethargic. At the same time, Elias is explaining the path to New York on a ball to the man and befriends him. Everyone gets on the plane and the flight attendants are ready for the fly. The plane takes off after 7 minutes. Nadia comes out of the bathroom after injecting another dose of her medicine. She exhaustedly falls asleep. She sees her husband Nikolai is playing in the snow. They are returning home, but their car broke down on the road and they don't know what to do. Nikolai asks Nadia to stay in the car so he can bring somebody for help. She wakes up to the sound of a passenger arguing with a flight attendant. Security marshals guide the passenger to the front of the plane. The flight attendant, who was arguing with the passenger, suddenly stabs and kills one of the marshals. All the flight attendant's partners begin to hijack the plane. The co-pilot, Sebastian, is also among the hijackers and kills the pilot. They discreetly murder the other 2 air marshals on the plane, and one of the hijackers with an ultraviolet torch finds a predetermined area of the cabin and disables the aircraft communication system with the control center, sabotaging the black box, preventing the plane from being tracked on radar. The leader, Berg, makes an announcement to the passengers that he and his men are now in control of the plane and expect everyone to stay put until a ransom is paid. Co-pilot diverts the plane from Frankfurt to New York to an unknown destination. One of the hijackers goes to a passenger named Farid and asks him and another passenger, who are Muslims, to come to the front of the plane. Elias, who had seen the plane manual, goes to a hatch to hide inside the cargo hold. Nadia runs after him to stop him, but ex-flight attendant, 8-Ball, sees her and shoots her several times in front of all the passengers. His madness angers his partner. Shocked, Elias goes over Nadia's head, but he's forcibly returned to her chair. Berg takes the gun from him and asks Carl to kill 8-Ball if he acts nervously again. Nadia is losing consciousness. She is waiting for Nikolai to return. It's hours since he left them. In the car, she and Elias are alone. She hugs Elias and follows Nikolai's footsteps and reaches an abandoned farmhouse in the jungle. She goes inside. The footprints are bloody, but Nadia is anxiously following the footsteps, but suddenly a scary creature appears from behind and runs towards them. Nadia dreadfully locks the door. The creature slams the door. Nadia comes back in fear, so her foot gets stuck in something and she falls. There she finds Nikolai's bloody body. The creepy man wants to enter through the window, but Nadia runs toward it and with a piece of wood pushes him back. The sun rises and the light rays make that creature burn and escape, but Nadia's hands are injured seriously. Nadia regains consciousness inside the plane. She sees the hatch that Elias was trying to escape into and goes inside and enters the cargo hold. The hijackers are forcing Farid and other passengers to read an announcement in order to use their voice recordings to blame them as Mujahid terrorist hijackers. The hijackers are planning to blow up the plane over London. Nadia takes off her contact lenses and hides behind the car. The hijackers enter the cargo hold and find their secret pieces of equipment. Jurij intends to make a detonating. Nadia kills one of the dogs there to suck its blood. The sound of this catches Jurij's attention. He comes to the voice and sees her drinking blood. Nadia attacks and kills him. She sees the changes that are taking place in her body. Her teeth, jaw, and mouth are transforming, and the color of her eyes has changed. She wants to inject one of her control drugs, hearing Juraj's transverse. Berg shouts at him to see if the cargo hold is ready to explode after they parachute the plane in 10 minutes. Upon hearing this, Nadia returns to the cabin. The hijackers are ready to kill the passengers with poison gas. Berg and the other hijackers go downstairs to the cargo hold to see how Juraj is doing. As soon as they enter, they find his body. They think that the dog bit his neck and killed him, so they killed the dog. Nadia goes into the cockpit, but no one is there. The hijackers are ready to leave the cargo hold by parachute. Nadia goes to the passengers. Everyone is shocked that she is alive. She asks them if anyone can control the plane. One of the passengers, who have aerospace engineering with hours of experience working with a flight simulator system, announced his readiness. He and Nadia and Elias go to the cockpit. Elias sees his mother's changed eyes color and realizes that she has drunk blood, and Nadia is ashamed. 8-Ball finds Nadia's medicine and sees her traces of blood. He suspects she's alive. The hijackers return to the cabin and find her inside the cockpit and ask her to open the door. She refuses, so Berg kills one of the passengers to intimidate her. 8-Ball goes among the passengers and brings a little girl to kill her if Nadia doesn't open the door. Nadia's face transforms even more with anger. She opens the door and bites Berg's neck. Berg is transforming, so Nadia stabs him in the heart and kills him. Seeing Nadia's scary face, Elias and the engineer doesn't dare to open the door for her. 8-Ball searches Nadia's supplies and finds her medications and diary. She has written in her notebook about the amount of blood she consumes every day, and 8-Ball notifies everyone that she is a vampire, but no one believes him. So 8-Ball picks up an ultraviolet torch to prove it to them. Nadia injects another dose of her suppressive drug in the bathroom and faints. Elias sees the hijackers coming from the camera, runs to the toilet to save her. 8-Ball throws the torch on Nadia, and it makes her faint in pain. 8-Ball takes some of her blood into a syringe and tries to kill her, but Elias, with a gun, threatens to kill him. 8-Ball goes to him to grab the gun, but he starts firing, which leads to accidentally shoots out a window, which depressurizes the plane. Lack of oxygen and high air pressure suffocates the engineer inside the cockpit. Elias faints. Farid comes to help him, but when he sees Nadia's scary face, freezes with fear. Nadia gives Elias to Farid to give him an oxygen mask, then she goes to the cargo hold. 8-Ball sits in the car and injects himself Nadia's blood. She sets the car on fire to stop him from becoming a vampire. When she ignites it, she remembers setting fire to the farmhouse, where she went back looking for answers. She ran into an elderly vampire who tried to shoot her to stop the further spread of vampirism, but she overpowered and beat him to death before escaping with vials of vampire suppressant and burning the farmhouse to the ground. The hijackers take the controls of the cockpit again. The fire alarm sound causes the fire extinguishing system to kill the fire inside the car. Seeing fire in the cargo hold made hijackers return there. They see Nadia, but she can escape from the other side. She comes up from the other side of the cargo hold. She's among the passengers. Seeing her scary face, the passengers flee to the front of the plane out of fear. 8-Ball, which totally transformed into a vampire, with a half-burned body, gets out of the car and bites and infects the rest of the hijackers. In the passenger cabin, people decide to kill Nadia. Farid and some other guy attacks her, but she overpowers them, and she is about to kill Farid, but gives up and goes to the cargo hold to prevent the vampires to reach the passenger's cabin. Nadia runs to close the corridor's door between the cargo hold and the passenger's cabin, which is blocked by 8-Ball. Farid comes for help. He pushes back the 8-Ball, but he bites his hand. With help from a shot by a passenger, Nadia can lock the door. The infection of Farid's hand is spreading in her body, so Nadia cuts the telephone wire and ties it around his hand and cuts off his wrist. Another infected passenger is seeking to suck the blood of the injured passengers. Nadia kills the infected passenger and goes to the cockpit with Elias and Farid. Sebastian is forced to change the airplane path and notify the control center about the hijack. The doctor among the passengers couldn't help the injured passenger. He goes to the corridor and opens the door for 8-Ball in hopes of being bitten. Instead, 8-Ball kills him. All the dreadful passengers flee to the cockpit, beg to be allowed in. Sebastian refuses to open the door. Farid tells him to open the door to shelter them in the cabin under the cockpit, but Sebastian believes if they open the door, they can no longer get it to shut again. Nadia warns them that if they land the plane, all the monsters there will attack as it gets dark. Bastian informs Nadia that the plane doesn't have enough fuel to reach New York and that they must land soon or crash. Farid says the only way is to land the plane, escape quickly, and then blow it up. To do this, they must attach a detonator to the fuel tank of the plane at the rear. But the way to get there is narrow. Ilyas, despite Nadia's resistance, picks up the ultraviolet torch and enters through the narrow section of the cockpit's cabin to reach the outer corridor. Ilyas gets there and then finds the detonator inside the pocket of one of the killed hijackers, but he gets stuck between the vampires there, so he hides under the car and calls Nadia. 8 Balls hears his voice and goes to the cargo hold. Nadia kills Sebastian and sucks his blood to gain strength and give him to other monsters behind the door so she can go to Ilyas. She reaches to the cargo hold and hits 8 Ball, but 8 Ball is stronger and bites her neck and is about to kill her. Ilyas distracts him and blows the door of the cargo hold, at which point Nadia has a chance to push 8 Ball out. 8 Ball takes the ropes and returns inside and grabs Ilyas' leg. Seeing this in the camera, Farid turns the plane, and the sun rays burn 8 Ball. He leaves Ilyas' foot, and he's thrown out of the plane. Nadia looks dead. Ilyas cut his hand to revive her with his blood. She regains consciousness but can hardly remember her man character. Ilyas tries to hug her to remind her that she's his mother, but it is useless, and she rejects him. Nadia goes to the rest of the infected passengers. Ilyas comes back to the present. The police officer is questioning him about the plane. Ilyas asks where Farid is. The officer tells him that police have him under control on the plane. Farid asks the police to take Farid off the plane because it is full of vampires, but they think he's shocked and inject sedatives to him. Everyone inside the plane is infected and the sun goes down. Farid asks the commander to let him out, but the commander says let the passengers go first. No matter how Farid tries to convince the commander that he's not holding the passengers, the commander doesn't believe him. Farid suddenly jumps into the back seat and snipers start shooting. The commander orders all soldiers to attack to enter the plane. They open the door from outside and throw tear gas and enter the plane. Farid goes to activate the fuel tank detonator to blows up the plane, but is caught by police and taken off the plane. Ilyas regains consciousness in the ambulance, and as a medic prepares to inject him with sleep sedative, he instead injects it to the medic and escapes with his teddy. All soldiers inside the plane are murdered one by the passengers. Ilyas flees under the fence and runs back to the plane. He sees his mother get out of the plane and feed on a soldier. He calls her, but when she sees him rushes towards him. Ilyas, realizing that his mother is gone and all that is left of her is a mad beast, he activates the detonator he hid in his teddy bear, killing her and the other vampires. Farid is released from custody and hugs Ilyas. The camera slowly pulls away and the movie ends. Subscribe for watching videos like this, turn on notifications, and thank you for watching.